Because in the midst of all craziness, God has us. And we need to really understand that. Because if we're acting just as crazy or just as scared, then we don't believe God's got us. So I'm going to start in Isaiah 41, verse 1. Keep silence before me, O coastlands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together for judgment. He who raised up one from the east, who in righteousness called him to his feet, who gave the nations before him and made him rule over kings, who gave them as the dust to his sword, as driven stubble to his bow, who pursued them and passed safely by the way that he had not gone with his feet, who has performed and done it, calling the generations from the beginning. I, the Lord, am the first, and with the last I am. So, and then it says, the coastlands saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid. They drew near and came. So right here, God is pretty much establishing that he is the one that makes things happen. So he's saying, look, if I want to, I can call somebody from the east, to go deal with somebody from the west. I can do whatever I want. I can raise up whoever to execute my judgment. And his judgment is righteous. Now, you can ask the people who are getting slaughtered if they think that's judged or that's righteous. But according to God, it's righteous because he's bringing and dealing with the issues that need to be dealt with. What would happen every time Israel would get into rebellion? He would say, okay, I'm done. He would bring a king from somewhere else to go and deal with them, right? They would go to war and they would deal with them. Then they would repent and then they would come back and, the cycle begins all over again. So here God is establishing himself like, I am the one that makes things happen. I am the one that executes things. I am the one that raises people up to do what he wants. In verse 6, everyone helped his neighbor and said to his neighbor, be of good courage. So the craftsman encouraged the goldsmith. He who smooths with the hammer inspired him who strikes the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering. Then he fastened it with pegs that it might not totter. So here you see the people, and this is like an amazing part, because each one was inspiring and encouraging, helping, aiding the other ones. So if we look at it in Christianity, everybody should be aiding, helping, and encouraging those that are around us and supporting each other and each other's roles. Because each person has a role. Whether we know our role or whether we don't, that really doesn't matter. Because God has gifted each and every one of us with something. Whether we think it's something or whether we think it's nothing, it's something because God gave it to us. So as we're using that gift, if we're using the ability, we should be encouraging the others, helping and aiding in their roles, inspiring them in their roles, And that's the amazing part. That's when you see something functioning at its fullest. When every part of something is functioning. And then he goes on. But you, Israel, are my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the descendants of Abraham, my friend, you whom I have taken from the ends of the earth and called from the farthest regions, and said to you, you are my servant, I have chosen you and have not cast you away. God has chosen us. He will not reject us because we have accepted Christ. If we've accepted Christ, we need to understand that He's not going to cast us away. We see this even in the New Testament, where God says His love for us, is as wide and as deep as the ocean. So if we really believe that, if God chose us, God picked us, Penny did a message on this last week. If we really understand that God handpicked us from everybody, and when He handpicked us, He's not going to just throw you away. It's not in His heart to do that. Just like a father or a mother, when you love your children, you're not going to toss them out and be like, oh, bye, I'm sure sometimes you want to. Sometimes you want to. Like God, He's corrected, He's disciplined, He's dealt with them. He's even had them go to other countries, right? Because they have to be dealt with. But they're never gone from His heart. Yeah. They're never gone from His heart. And that is what it is. His love for us doesn't end. Why do you think the scriptures talk about, about the backslider? Why? Because He loves them. And because He chose them. He will not give up on us. And I'm thankful for that. Because there's been many times where I have been willing to give up on Him. But He has not given up on me. And thank God for His persistence. Amen. And sometimes it's been annoyance. But if He didn't do that, then where would I be today? I would still be lost. I would still be lost. So then He goes on in verse 10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Be not dismayed. What this means is don't look to something with fear, agitation, or distress of things that might happen, or something that happens unexpectedly. How many times do we start getting stressed out of stuff that might happen? Well, we need to prepare because this might happen. But it's not happening. Like, you're all like out of your mind for nothing that's happened. It might never happen. And then, or the opposite, where something comes quickly and unexpectedly, and it turns your world upside down, and you are acting like you're upside down. Be not dismayed. Do not fear. Do not be in distress. Do not be dismayed. Why? Because God says, I am with you. So stop acting as if you don't know God. If God is with you, then you're going to have that peace that surpasses all understanding. You're able to go to the store and you're able to be like, whoa, what's going on here? And you're cool, calm and collected. Everybody took your stuff. I went looking for eggs. And we need eggs. You know how many eggs my kids go through? Nothing. Nobody has eggs. I'm like, what? I might be going to my mama's because she has some chickens right now. Right? It's like, stop freaking out of something that might happen, and stop freaking out because something unexpectedly happened. This is life. Life is full of unexpected things. But here God is reassuring us. God right here is saying, look, I got you. I got you. I'm going to take you by your hand because I know how you are. And if I don't hold your hand, you're either going to drop and say, I'm done right here. Or you're just going to be, turning, chasing your tail, freaking out. I know how you are. So He's saying, don't freak out, for I am your God. I am your Savior. I am your Redeemer. I am your Creator. God created us. God had you and me in mind. Before my mama had me in mind, He already had me in mind. Before my mama knew how crazy I was going to be, He already knew how crazy I was going to be. Before he knew the woman he was going to turn me in, or before my mama got to be blessed, my poor mama, before she got to see me change before her very eyes, God had already seen. God knows your beginning from your end. See, this is why he's saying, look, I got you. I know what's going to happen. I already know. So I'm going to prepare you. I'm going to counsel you. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to lead you through every single step you need to take. Even the ones that seem wrong. And even the ones that seem like, oh, I don't know where this is leading. This is a dead end. It has to be. He is the one leading you through that because he knows your end. He knows where he wants you. He knows where he needs you. And he knows what you were created for. He's saying, so don't be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will give you the ability to withstand great force or pressure. I will make you secure. That's what he's saying. He's going to make you secure. And I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This is literally meaning taking a person by the hand. And if you are surrendering to God, if you are trusting God, if you are saying, you are my God, I'm not going to look to what's around me, because you know you are in control. You created me. You created this earth. You created everything. So if I believe you created it all, this didn't catch you by surprise. It only caught me by surprise, because I surely wasn't stopped. It caught me by surprise, but it didn't catch him by surprise. So when you are, like, let's say when we're driving, and we've had a couple experiences, I won't say no names, but I might not be good with directions, right? So who are you going to follow? The one that doesn't know how to go from east and west? Don't ask me which way is west. Don't ask me which way is east. Are you going to follow that person, or are you going to follow the person that knows where they're going? Mm-hmm. If you want to get to your destination, who are you going to follow? God knows my destination. God knows your destination. So who are you going to follow? Are you going to follow the crazy crowd? Or are you going to follow God? He says, I have everything. I know everything. I know where this leads. I know what this ends. And I know how it ends. And remember, we always have to keep this in mind. Everything that has to do with God is very prophetic. So his word is only going to keep coming to pass, no matter what people do. Right. No matter how much they try to make it happen, and or no matter how much they try to stop it. It's God's timing, God's plan, when God feels like it. And that's just the bottom line. So if I'm taking God by the hand, all of a sudden it should bring in that inner peace. That inner peace to say, you know what, Lord? You got me. You are with me. You are here. You're going to take me all the way through. As long as I'm breathing on this earth, I better be taking his hand. Because the moment I let go, I ain't at peace. I am not at peace, and I am the one out of control. Mm-hmm. Behold, all those who were incensed against you shall be ashamed and disgraced. They shall be as nothing, as those who strive with you shall perish, and those who strive with you shall perish. You shall seek them and not find them. Those who contended with you, those who war against you, shall be as nothing, as a non-existent thing. Wow. Okay. For I, the Lord, your God, will hold your right hand, saying to you, fear not, I will help you. Fear not, you worm Jacob. You little worm. You men of Israel, I will help you, says the Lord, and your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make you into a new threshing sledge with sharp teeth. You shall thresh the mountains and beat them small, and make the hills like chaff. You shall winnow them, the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. you shall rejoice in the Lord. So again, he's encouraging us. Again, he's saying, I'm going to be the one to help you. He is our defense. And not only that, he's going to make us a tool. He's going to make us an instrument. This threshing sledge, it was pretty much describing, you know, those, it has like a stick and then like a big piece of wood or something. And then at the ends, it has like iron spikes or something to thresh out the wheat, right? Like to beat it kind of thing. So he's telling them right here, I will make you into a new instrument, into a new tool. And this was meant to overcome and subdue their enemies. So God is going to make us a tool or an instrument in his hands to overcome our enemies. And the mountain represents their foes. So for Israel, they had literally physical foes, right? But in our case, today, we might have spiritual foes. Well, we do have spiritual foes. We will have mental foes, right? It's ourselves. Us. Or physical. This whole coronavirus thing, right? There's always something that's trying to stand in the way, and the mountain is representing your enemy. What is your enemy today? Is it spiritual? Is it physical? Is it mental? God is saying, I will give you the ability. I will give you the strength. I will give you what you need to overcome this mountain. To, what does it say? To beat it into when it's small. Until the wind is able to just carry it away. Do you realize that God is willing to do this for you? There is a mountain in front of us. And are you going to keep looking at this mountain and be defeated? Or are you going to look at the mountain and say, I got a tool, I'm going to use it. I'm going to remove that mountain with the power of God. Because God's saying, I am going to be the one to make you the tool. That means you are the tool. He's going to give you the strength, the ability to subdue it and overcome it. That's the power of God. He's not going to leave us where we're at. He won't. He doesn't want to, because it's for our own good. Because that mountain is getting in the way between me and my purpose. So are you going to let this mountain interfere and stop you dead center? Because he's not going to let you go around the mountain. It's not going around the mountain anymore. It's beat it. Get it out of your way. Deal with that mountain in your life. Whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's mental. He hasn't given somebody else the ability to overcome your mountain. God's saying, I'm going to make you the tool to deal with that mountain. And that's your foe. On the street, you're not going to let somebody just come up on you. Either you're dodging or you're coming back at it, right? You're not just going to be like, oh, okay, well, I'll let you take me out and I'll just lay down, you know. Well, at least not me. At least not me. I don't know about some people. Some people I can't talk for, but you're not going to just lay there when somebody is coming and trying to take things away from you. This enemy is coming and he's trying to take away your peace. He's trying to take away your sanity. He's trying to take away your health. He's trying to take away your purpose. That is what this mountain is doing. But God is giving you the answer today. Take me by the hand. I will give you the power to do what you need to do. See, God very easily can come and just shatter your mountain. But see, that would be easy. What will we learn? How will we learn to trust God? if he comes and just does it for us. You know, our children, if we do every single thing for them, then they're not going to be independent. They're going to be completely dependent on us to do everything for them. And, you know, there comes a time and an age where you're like, are you serious? Like, can you get it together now? Right? So this is what God does. He's a good father. So he's saying, look, I'm not going to take your mountain away, but you are. You are. So if you have the power of God in you, he's going to give you that power that you need. And it's his power, not our own. And then it says, and you shall rejoice in the Lord. That means you're going to get the victory. You're going to get the victory over your foes. And then it goes on, 17. The poor and the needy seek water, but there is none. Their tongues fail for thirst. I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in desolate heights and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water and the dry land spring of water. I will plant in the wilderness the cedar and the acacia tree, the myrtle and the oil tree. I will set it in the desert, cypress tree and the pine and the box tree together, that they may see and know and consider and understand together that the hand of the Lord has done this, and the Holy One of Israel has created it. God hears his people. He will not leave us without. Whatever it is we're in need of, he hears you. Even if it's a cry deep in your heart that nobody else hears, he hears it. If it's a need, if it's a desire, if it's a want, he hears it. And then he goes on and he talks about, I plant all these different things together in one place. Things that should not be together. Why? Because he says, so that everyone can understand I'm the one that did this. God does the impossible in our lives. God does what nobody else can do. He defies nature. He defies our circumstances. Have you ever been in a circumstance that's so distressful and you're like, nobody can get me out of this. Nobody can deliver me. Nobody can save me. Nobody can help me. We have just lost all hope. But yet, all of a sudden, God comes and he brings in that miracle. He comes and brings whatever is needed to get you out of that situation. He's still doing that today. He didn't stop the moment we surrendered our lives to him. He didn't stop doing miracles in our lives the moment we said, okay, Jesus, I accept you. That's not the moment it stops. That's the moment he begins. And he continues to do miracle after miracle after miracle in our lives. And continues to meet our need. But our needs become more of a spiritual thing. Our needs become more, Lord, I need you. I need your provision. I need your wisdom. I need your direction. I don't want my direction. I don't want what I have to offer. Because what I have to offer, it didn't even help me out there. It got me in trouble. I thought I had something to offer, but I surely didn't. Because I wouldn't have put myself in the messes. But God is so faithful. God makes things grow where they should not grow. And just like us, we're different people from different places. You would look at us from the outside and be like, I don't even know how they're like, how did they come together? They're so different. But that was because God ordained it. God wanted it. So that people can see God is able to do whatever he wants. So if God has you planted, it's not unintentional. It is very intentional. God plucked us from different places and he put us together to grow together. so he can be glorified. So he can say, look what I have done. Not anybody else. Nobody else. We wouldn't have known each other if it wasn't through so-and-so, 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 right? As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have come to God. And the people that led me to Christ, I don't even talk to them today. They did their job. They did their job. But God has us together because he's doing a work. He's doing a work, and he's telling us that he's going to bring in the provision, and he hears our cries. He hears them. So if you ever think God doesn't hear me, right here it says, I hear you. Right? I hear you. I've been there where I think he's not listening and he's not going to answer. And it comes years later. But I'm very grateful I waited. Because if I would not have waited, it would not have turned out the way it is today. If I would have just given up on God's promise, I would have said, okay, well, I'm done. And I would have settled. And I would have got God's best. So when he's saying, I got you, he means I got you. But are you going to trust him? Are you going to take him by the hand? When everything is hopeless, when everything's chaotic, when everything's turned upside down, when our world is turned upside down, are you going to be dismayed? Or are you going to say, Lord, you got me. You knew in this very moment of my life this was coming. So all the years before this, you prepared me. Now I got to dig in deep, dig into the word, dig into him, dig in so that nobody can pluck you out, so that nobody can take you away from his hand. Because Jesus said, nobody can take you out of my hand. So if we're in his hand, nobody can take us out. So if sickness comes and if anything else comes, it's not going to take us out of God's hand. It might take us out of this earth, but it's not going to take us out of his hand. So you're still safe. You're still safe. God knows what he's doing with our lives. God knows what he wants. And God knows how to get us to the point of fulfilling the very purpose and the reason why he brought us into this earth in the first place. And really quick, you don't have to turn there, but I'm going to finish off in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. It says, commit your works to the Lord and your thoughts will be established. It means trust God with all your works, with all your deeds, and your purpose and plans will be made firm. So, not your purpose that you created, but the purpose God put in you. Those will be made firm. Because if we're trusting God, then that means we're letting him lead. And if we're letting him lead, he's going to be the one that's going to succeed in us. He's going to make the intentions of your heart succeed. He's going to make the plans and the purposes of your heart succeed. Why? Because the closer we get to God, the more his desires become our desires. And the more we trust him with it, the more he's able to just bring it to pass. And the more he's able to do things for you. Look, when God wants to do something, and you have something in the way, God says, okay, it's time. I'm ready to do what I got to do. It's out. Just like that. I remember having these things in my way, hindrances that hindered me for years and years, like fears and doubts. And I don't know why, but I let it happen. And I remember I would keep begging God, like, God, please, please, please help me. And then one day, I would wake up and I would be different. And I'm like, I remember catching myself. Well, I didn't do nothing different. What changed? Well, come to find out, shortly after, something happened. happened to where I was forced into that situation, to where I had to do that now, to where I had to stand, where I had to rise, where I had to do it. And that hindrance was gone. Therefore, I wasn't stopped. It succeeded because I entrusted my ways to God, because I entrusted myself into His hands. So everything you do, trust God. He's going to make it happen. He's going to succeed. He's going to make it succeed in your life for you. And so those mountains that you have in your life, trust God. Fight it out. Deal with the issues. Let God make you that tool. Be that instrument in God's hand. So you don't have to keep dealing with it for the rest of your Christian walk. Because you don't want to keep dragging extra baggage when you don't have to. Like, it's time to drop some baggage, people. You know what I mean? It's time to drop the baggage. Because we need to go forward. We can't let chaos stop us. We need to do God's will. Because we're the only source of hope right now. So if we believe it, we can help others believe it as well. Amen? Amen. Lord, we